All right. So thank you for joining us this evening for our Germanna Cares About You information session. My name is Carleigh Pappas, and I am one of the college recruiters here at Germanna. A little bit about myself. I am a recent college graduate. I graduated from Old Dominion University back in 2018 with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, focusing in marketing. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in integrative marketing communication. So I'm very excited. I love higher education. I love talking about college and the college process with students. But here we're talking about Germanna this evening. Germanna is your local community college. We serve Caroline, Culpeper, Fredericksburg, King George, Madison, Orange, Spotsylvania, and Stafford. But we're also online, so you could be taking classes with us virtually anywhere in the world. So in this COVID environment right now, our physical campuses are closed to the public at this time. So all of our services and our classes are being conducted virtually. So if you need to get in touch with us, you can call us, you can email us. We can set up a Zoom appointment very much like this to have a conversation. Just let us know and reach out to us. But we are top ranked in Virginia and across the country. We offer over 60 different certificate and associate degrees programs. We have apprenticeship programs in things like HVAC, electrical, plumbing, asphalt technician, welding, CNC, carpentry, and the list goes on and on. So a lot of opportunity for students to either get into the workforce right away, or if you're looking to eventually transfer to a four-year institution, work on your bachelor's degree, maybe all the way up to PhD, we help students get to their end goals. We serve about 13,000 students every single year. And to let you know about our virtual offerings right now, we offer what we call synchronous classes, or you can think of them as live. So you would sit down every Monday evening at 6 o'clock to listen to your professor lecture. You would see your classmates very much like you're seeing everyone online right now. So that would be a synchronous or a live class. We also offer what we call asynchronous, or it's module driven. We provide all the material up front. Your professor sets deadlines. So as long as you get that work done by that deadline, great. So it's not necessarily you'd have to sit at your computer at a specific time every week. Whenever you have time to get your work done, work on your homework, that is the kind of class we're offering for students. So kind of those two options. Now, hopefully when we can reopen campus, students will still have the option between taking online classes and in-person classes. But as of right now, everything will be conducted virtually. We also offer a lot of college transfer opportunities. So we offer the associate's degree, which is typically the first 2 years of your bachelor's degree. We have over 45 different transfer partners here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we have these great thing called the guaranteed admissions agreements. So basically, as long as you meet their criteria, which is usually GPA, some certain classes, and as long as you graduate with your associate's degree from us, you have a guaranteed yes to move over to that institution and to complete your bachelor's degree with them. Super great, very easy process for you as a student. We are also #1 in University of Mary Washington transfers. Since Mary Washington is right down the road from us, we send tons and tons of students to them every single semester. And we actually have a few opportunities for you to take classes with both us and Mary Washington at the same time. And once you complete your degree with us, we help you with the transfer process over to Mary Washington. I think lastly, and most importantly, we're about a third of the cost of most Virginia four-year public schools. We'll be talking about how to pay for your education later on, but you could be saving yourself almost $8,000 every year by attending Germanna first before you transfer to a four-year. So this next slide, I want to show you, these are the 45 plus different transfer partners we have agreements with here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So if you know Virginia Tech is ultimately where you want to end up, we have an agreement to help you get there. So if you're interested in this, when you apply to Germanna, and I'll be talking about that later, which is very simple, let your academic advisor know saying, hey, I want to transfer to Virginia Tech for psychology. And they will sit down with you saying, okay, here are the classes you need to take, here's the GPA you need to have, and they'll help you create a plan to see through the end and hopefully transfer to Virginia Tech at the very end. But without further ado, we want to talk a little bit about how do you pay for your education, and specifically at Germanna. I would like to introduce Miss Sabrina Ballard. She is with our financial aid office, and she'll talk a little bit how to pay for school.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sabrina Ballard, and I'm Assistant Director of Financial Aid here at Germanna Community College. I know your time is extremely valuable, and I appreciate you taking a few moments out of your evening to spend with us, so I thank you for that. So I'm just going to answer a few questions today, so I'll just be really quick. The first question is why Germanna? And the second question is how? How are you going to pay for college? The answer to the why is because Germanna really cares about our students. The financial aid process can be confusing and overwhelming, but we have a fantastic, knowledgeable team of financial aid advisors that will help you understand the entire financial aid process. You can reach us several ways. You can reach us, there's a 24/7 online chat. So in the middle of the night, if you have a question about financial aid, there's someone there to help you. We also offer one-on-one appointments through Navigate, which is like a Zoom appointment. This is a way that we can say if you're doing a FAFSA, we can see what you're doing so we can help you through that process as well. And also, the last thing is you can email us or call us. So we are available via email or via phone to help you through the entire process and answer any questions that you may have. You can. And then let's answer the question, save big. One of the benefits of attending Germanna Community College is you can save big. Compared to four-year institutions such as VCU and UMW, which are a few that are listed here, by attending Germanna, you can save approximately $8,000 per year, and that's a lot of money. That is approximately a third of the cost of many institutions. Many students attend Germanna first and they save about $16,000. Then they transfer to one of our four-year institutions under our guaranteed transfer agreement, and they may receive additional funds for just transferring over. You can advance. And to answer your question on how to pay for college, there are so many ways to pay for college here at Germanna. The military benefits, we have a military and veterans department specifically just for you, help you through the entire process. So we take you from completing your FAFSA, filling out your forms for your benefits in the military to your graduation. So this is a great place that you can start if you are a veteran or a dependent or a spouse. And then we have work study. We can, you could, when you fill out your FAFSA, you can indicate that you're interested in work study, and you can earn money while you learn. So you're learning and you're earning money for school all at the same time. And then we have payment plan options. And the payment plan options, this is really simple, really easy, a great way to pay for school. You can do a non-refundable, very minimal, a non-refundable enrollment fee. Then you put down 20%, say, down payment, and then you can divide the remaining balance of your tuition and fees into equal payments, 2 equal payments, 4 equal payments, whatever one you choose. We have a payment plan just for you. And then, of course, we have scholarships. There are so many scholarships here at Germanna that's available to you. What you can do is you can contact me or another financial aid advisor here at Germanna, and we'll help you to find out what scholarship is available to you. We have several that have minimal eligibility requirements. So there is a scholarship there for you. And then we can help you through that FAFSA. Remember, I was saying that you can make an appointment through Navigate, that we can do a Zoom appointment. We can help you through the entire financial aid process. So we'll log on to studentaid.gov, and we're able to go question by question to help you through that financial aid process, because sometimes the FAFSA process can be really confusing. So there are so many benefits when you complete that FAFSA. You have loans, which is federal direct student loans, which have low interest rate and multiple payment plan options when available to pay those back. Then we have grants. We have the Pell Grant, which is the largest grant. We have state grants. So there's grants that you don't have to pay back, that if you can complete that FAFSA, we'll know what you qualify for. And of course, like we said earlier, the work study program, this allows you to work while you earn. So when you complete that FAFSA, if you indicate that you're interested in the work study program, we'll call you in for orientation, and you could work for the college. And then also, we have workforce programs. So we have the Fast Forward, and then we have Fanta Grant. Both of these grants help you pay for our certifications that Carleigh was talking about. We have A+ certification, we have HVAC, we have electrical, we have so many workforce certification programs. So the Fast Forward grant pays everything but 1/3 of the tuition that costs for your course. And then the Fanta grant pays up to 90%. I'm going to say it again, 90% of your course. So some courses that are $5,000, you'll pay only 10% of that, which is really, really good, or less. So then there's other programs such as the Virginia Ready and then Reemploying Virginians. These are scholarships that were developed because of COVID-19. You can advance this slide. And so Reemploying Virginia, this is very popular because it's helping so many people that's having a difficult time during this time. So if you are unemployed or underemployed due to COVID-19, you automatically qualify for this program if you are enrolled in an eligible program. You can receive up to $1,500 for anywhere like part-time enrollment and up to $3,000 for full-time enrollment. Only thing you have to do is complete the Germanna application if you haven't already applied, and then also complete the REV certification form. And then we have Community First grants. These are grants that are simple and easy, and they have minimal eligibility requirements. So the Community First grant also, it's $250 for part-time and $500 grants for eligible students. You can register for spring courses by today, but they did extend this, so they did give us a little bit more time. So it is extended, and you have to be enrolled in a program of study like automotive, business, cybersecurity, IT, education, or healthcare. So we have so many ways to pay for college. We have the FAFSA, we have grants, we have scholarships. So there is a way for you to go to school. Our president always says, if you have a desire to go to school, we'll make the other way. So thank you again for about 10 minutes of your time, and then I'll give it back to Carleigh.
Thank you, Sabrina. And I would like to toss it over to Miss Taylor Landry. She's going to talk about academic and student support here at Germanna.
Thank you, Carleigh. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor. I'm the Care Program Specialist and the Great Expectations Coach here at Germanna Community College. I've worked with Germanna for 6.5 years. One of the reasons I really love working at Germanna is because I truly feel like everyone at Germanna is behind our students. They want to support you and make sure that you're reaching the goals that you've set for yourself. And today, what we're really going to talk about with me is those types of support. So whether this is your first semester, you haven't gotten started yet, or you're a returning student, you're already on that path towards your academic goals, we've got folks who are there behind you virtually right now, not close to you, but we're here with you 100% of the way. Some of the resources that we offer for students, we have tutoring and academic support through our Academic Center for Excellence. Any credit class that you're taking at Germanna, you can receive one-on-one tutoring via Zoom for that course. This is always free. You also have drop-in hours, both for writing and math, because we know that those are areas that students like to have some extra support. And there's a collaboration with a service called BrainFuse that gets you even more academic support for your courses. And BrainFuse is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you are a night owl and you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning doing your homework and you get stuck, there's still someone there with you to go ahead and help you out. Okay. We also have an incredible library services. A big component of your academic experience at Germanna is going to include doing some research, writing some papers, looking up different things for your courses. And our library team is there to help you. Whether you have a question about a citation style, you're trying to find an article for an English paper, or your computer just broke and you need to rent out a laptop for the rest of the semester so that you can complete your assignments, library services is there. They're incredible. They're a great resource for you. Obviously, things look a little bit different right now because our physical campuses are closed, but our student life and student activities departments are still working incredibly hard to make sure that you feel connected to your Germanna community and you're building those friendships while you're a student here. Everything from Zoom dance parties to virtual bingo, drive-through pep rallies where you can pick up some awesome Germanna swag, videos, articles, you name it. It's all available through student activities. You can join clubs where you're going to meet virtually. You can attend all sorts of different co-curricular events, cultural events, and just fun things. And like I said before, there are also opportunities for safe, socially distanced campus events as well. Grizzly Connect, which you can access through my GCC, is an incredible resource for you if you're interested in getting even more engaged with Germanna, because you're going to see all of the student activities there, plus all of the clubs that you may be interested in joining. If you don't see a club you're really interested in, you can also start one. And more information about starting your own club is on Grizzly Connect as well. I'm going to talk to you more about Germanna Cares and the CARE programs in a minute, but I want you to know that if you're facing a challenge outside of the classroom, we're here to try and help you with that as well. We're going to help you connect to community resources, and we're going to try and connect you to some Germanna resources, so that if something's going on in your life that's really causing you a lot of stress, we can try and support you, try and help you so that you can stay focused on completing your goals. If you received disability services when you were in high school, you can continue to receive accommodations now that you're in college. The big difference, if you're just getting started in college, is that at this point, really the first step comes from you. If you're interested in getting accommodations, it becomes your responsibility to reach out to our disability services team, let them know what it is you're looking for, connect with them to get what you need. We won't ask you about it. We won't provide information unless you share with us that it's something that you'd like. But there are a variety of different resources, including online virtual specific resources for students, so that you're able to get the tools that you need to do your best in your classes. And of course, we have an incredible counseling services team. Counseling services can meet with you and assist you in any number of ways, whether you've got academic questions, you need referrals to community services, you need someone just to talk to you for a minute and kind of get some feedback. Our counseling services team is amazing. They're here to help you whenever you need. You can definitely check out the counseling services website to get a number of different resources and recommendations as well. Now, I told you I was going to talk to you more about Germanna Cares, and I'm going to. We have a variety of different services available at Germanna to ensure that whatever you've got going on, we're here to help you. We use a tool called Single Stop Technologies. Essentially, as a student, you can create a profile in Single Stop, and then a counselor will reach out to you. We'll meet with you and create a sort of customized list of resources in the community, at the federal and state level, and within Germanna to help you if you're having a hard time making ends meet. We know that when students are stressed about putting groceries on the table, paying their bills, accessing technology, getting around town to campus for Wi-Fi or even to work, when you're stressing about those things, it's hard for you to do your best in your classes. It's pretty tough to study when you're trying to figure out how you're just going to pay the rent. Because of that, we have created a series of different resources to cover those types of situations. When our campuses are open, we have incredible food pantries you can visit as often as you need. But because right now our physical campuses are closed, we're having to be a little bit more creative about helping students access the groceries that help them and their families. If you need help with food, we can actually do a grocery delivery service to your house, which is pretty cool. You can email Germanna@Germanna.edu to learn more about that service. And we're also going to refer you to a number of different organizations in our community that can help you get the groceries there, keep your pantry stocked. We have emergency funds. If you're facing a crisis, we're able to help you as much as we possibly can in order to ensure that you've got the funds you need to maintain everything else going on in your life so that you can stay focused on school. We have technology resources. I mentioned before that the library has an awesome program where you can check out a loaner laptop. But if you don't have a personal computer, we also have a service available where we may be able to help you get a permanent computer based on your eligibility. And we have a lot of other services that we can use to help you with everything from housing and bills to gas cards to childcare to healthcare. If it's one of those critical needs in your life, we want to help you access whatever it is that you need so that, like I was saying before, you can stay focused on reaching your goals, finishing your degree, or completing your credential, and then taking that next step into your career.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Taylor, for sharing all that great information. Again, if you guys ever need any assistance, please reach out to Germanna Cares at Germanna.edu. I actually put that in the chat, so you can say that for later. But I would like
Thank
to
you.
introduce, thank you. I'd like to introduce Miss Kara Ballard. She's going to talk about why Germanna, specifically for her, as she was an alum and currently works there.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name again is Kara Ballard. I am the career coach for Germanna Community College at Spotsylvania High School. I also help with counseling as well at the college. So you'll see me wear many different hats. But the hat that I want to talk to you about this evening is the hat that I wore as a student at Germanna. And I reached out to our recruiting team and marketing to just because I wanted to share my story and I wanted to tell, our community. Had it not been for Germanna, I don't believe I would have went to graduate school and been able to pay it forward and help students and our community. So a little bit about me. I'm a graduate of Spotsylvania High School. My father and my brothers and sisters, two of my children have graduated from Spotsylvania High School. So when I say I'm homegrown, I am homegrown. And also another fact about me, I was a first generation college student. First in my family to go to college and complete a degree and go on to graduate school. So very proud of that. And the second is a more personal detail about myself was that my husband and I, who are happily married 27 years later, had our first child at 19. So I was a first generation college student, but on top of that, I was a teenage mother at 19 and who now my son is 25 and a graduate of a four-year school, Christopher Newport University, and very proud of that. So breaking that cycle and valuing education. And I think that all stems from my time at Germanna. I will tell you, when I first went to Germanna, I had so much apprehension, so much anxiety, so much stress thinking, okay, is this for me? I don't even know if I'm, they're gonna laugh at me. I don't know if I'm even gonna fit the mold, so to speak. But here I go, here goes nothing. So I walked into Germanna, I spoke to a lovely woman who is one of our deans now of student services, Dean Frederick. And she was so helpful, and I'll never forget. I remember exactly what she was wearing, and that was 25 years ago. And I remember how helpful she was from the moment I walked in. And I remember just being shy and timid and not knowing what to expect. And she reassured me that, she was there to help me, and she walked me through the process and the steps that I needed to do. And I took the dreaded placement test. Yes, back then we had to take a placement test. And let me just do a side note. I was not prepared for college. I went to school in the late 80s, early 90s. There were the small elite classes of students within the graduating class that were prepared, maybe like 10% that went on to college, and then everyone else. We could take, just regular ed classes. So I never took any college preparatory classes. I just knew that I wanted something different and I didn't want to work just a job. And I knew that I had a passion for helping people and wanting to make a difference. So I knew that that was my only option. And if I was going to go into counseling or teaching, and I did both, I needed to get an education. But I also had that piece when I walked in, is like, am I even going to be able to place? So that was another part of my story. I did end up taking the placement test. I was enrolled in classes and working and balancing a family and a full-time job and going to school. My 2-year degree ended up taking me over 4 years to get because I was able to just go part-time in the evening, which accommodated my work schedule. And also, I was able to, one thing I loved most about Germanna was a small class size. I think that I'm a hard worker. I don't think I'm gifted, no means, but I'm passionate. And when I care about something, I work extra, extra hard to make it come to fruition. One side story of that, just to note that, is when I was in one of the algebra classes, freshman level math classes with Mr. Shirazi, who I'm happy to make known that he is a colleague of mine now. But at that time, in 1995, he was my instructor. And I remember showing up and taking notes and asking questions and just, just really intent on every word he was saying, just paying attention and whatnot. And he reached out to me and he said, Kara, I see that you are really struggling, but I also see you showing up. I see you participating. I see you turning in your assignments. Where are you at? What do you need from me? Are you willing to come meet with me during my office hours? Because I'm willing to help you. You have a lot of potential. I just think it's just not connecting quite right for you. So he spent many hours, 2 semesters working with me. And had I not blown through that barrier and had I not been able to circumvent that difficult subject area, I would never have graduated from Germanna Community College, nor would I have been able to transfer to University of Mary Washington and get my bachelor's degree and my teaching certification. So I know that him and his caring for his students and was instrumental in me being successful. And every time I see him, I kind of get choked up and I'm like, Mr. Shirazi, I was like, if it weren't for you. And he was like, oh no, you did all the hard work. But that's what I remember at my time as a student at Germanna. There were always so many people that were cheerleading around me and were always supporting me in ways that I don't do it justice by explaining it or talking about it. But that's what I try to give back. This is my going on 11th year at Germanna as an employee. And I'm passionate about what I do because I see myself in a lot of students at Germanna. So I think from that perspective, as walking the walk through Germanna as a student and sharing in some of my same apprehensions and anxieties and struggles, I think that's important to hear. But as a career coach, now I'm changing hats. As a career coach, working with many high school students over the years at Spotsylvania High School, I've always told them that, with every cost with every opportunity, there's a cost involved. And you want to really lay out, the pros and cons, whatever choice that you choose. So I always tell students, look at the overall, the end goal. If your goal is to earn a degree and maybe go to graduate school and to have little or no debt, then it makes sense. And I like to give them the scenario or the, I guess, yeah, pretty much. I say, if you're going to buy a pair of shoes and you know that they're on sale at Ross or at Marshall's and they're name brand, they're the same exact pair of shoes. But if you go to Spotsylvania Town Center and you go to Foot Locker and they're going to have a higher price tag and they're going to cost a lot more, but they're the same exact shoe that you could buy at Marshall's or Ross. Why would you bypass Marshall or Ross to drive 15 minutes down the road to pay double? So I always like to start with that angle. And then some students go, Miss Ballard, I don't really understand how this all works. And I know I've done really good in school and we talk about paying and whatnot. But I always tell students that, many of our students in our community are eligible for that full Pell Grant, which is $6,200. So if you're eligible for the full Pell Grant or majority of it, Germanna costs roughly about $4,500 a whole year. Not only will it cover all your tuition and your fees and your books, but in a lot of cases, students get that money back to them to help them pay with cost associated with attending Germanna as a student. So save that cost. Don't wait, don't rack up $60,000 if you go to public school for your freshman, sophomore year when you could be doing that for less than 10,000. Save that money, that $50,000 that you could put towards graduate school. I will tell you more and more people are earning their master's degree, and that makes you more competitive in the market. So wait to spend that money when you are limited and credit hours cost a lot more. The diversity, I tell students, diversity is so widespread on the campus. That's what I love about our campus. You're going to meet people from all different walks of life, different religious backgrounds. You're going to meet people that are working age, some that are the top 10% of the graduating class. You're going to sit beside someone that's a valedictorian from maybe Stafford High School. You're going to just have so much diverse and knowledge and experience around you, and that helps you shape you into a responsible and I guess overall great person, I think, because it gives you different perspectives. And the flexibility. That's the other point that I wanted to point out. So students will say, Ms. Ballard, well, do I have to go Monday through Friday? I really kind of want to get a job. Well, no, you don't. You can say, I want to do all my classes in the morning. We start as early as 8 a.m. and we go through 10 o'clock in the evening where they end, classes end. You can do a Saturday class. You can do Tuesdays and Thursday only classes, or Monday and Wednesday only classes. There's so much flexibility in the scheduling that really works for students so they can balance home, life, and work. So that's another great aspect of choosing Germanna. And I've kind of mentioned this earlier on, was the small class sizes. And coming from this community, living here all my life, and going to Spotsylvania County School myself and graduating and being in the school system, that's what makes me feel so thankful for Germanna, is we have those small class sizes, and you're not just a number, you're a person that the instructor sees and that instructor cares about. So Germanna is a win-win in my opinion, and I know it was so beneficial in my endeavors to reach where I was able to get my master's degree and do what I do. So thank you all for listening, and I hope that you have a story just as compelling, and I hope you do very well if you choose us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kara. Well, that was a lot of information, y'all. So how do you get started at Germanna? It's very simple. You'll go to our website and you'll hit the Apply Now button. It's on the left-hand side of the page, little black button. We have no deadlines to apply. There are no application fees, and there are no minimum GPA requirements. It should only take you about 15 to 20 minutes to apply. In the application, it's going to ask for your personal information, like what's your first and last name, email address, phone number, where do you permanently live, highest level of education you've completed so far. So if you're currently in high school, it would be some high school, or if you just graduated high school, it would be high school, and so on and so forth. And then at the very end, it's going to ask you, hey, what are you interested in studying at Germanna? We have a lot of different things. We have IT and cybersecurity. We have nursing. We have physical therapist assistant. We have business, engineering, science, and it goes on and on. So if you're interested in one particular one, please choose that. If you have no idea, you can choose any of them. After you apply, within about 48 hours, you're going to get an email from one of our admissions advisors saying congratulations on getting into Germanna, welcome, and then they'll want to meet with you one-on-one virtually right now, just to make sure that all the information was entered correctly. If we need any additional documents to domicile you, or if we need your high school transcripts or anything like that, they'll help you through that process. And then the next step, they'll make an appointment for you to meet virtually with an academic advisor to discuss all of our various programs and then get you registered for the next semester of classes. So it's very simple. It only starts with that application, which again is free to you. There's no minimum GPA requirements and there are no deadlines to apply. We are open enrollment. So our next class session actually starts next week on the 15th, or excuse me, the 19th. I have Monday brain right now. So we start on the 19th. We also have a 12-week session starting a little bit after that, and then a 7-week session a couple weeks after that. So there's multiple times to start throughout the spring semester. Summer will start usually around the middle of May, with our fall semester following that up, starting usually like the last week of August. So there are many different opportunities for you to join Germanna. As I mentioned earlier, classes do start next week, but we have other start dates throughout the spring semester. And then we'll use the next, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes to answer any of your questions. So if you have a question, please drop it in the chat box and we will go one by one through it all. If you have any other questions and we're not able to get to it tonight, feel free to send it to recruiting@Germanna.edu and we'll be following up shortly with you. But we'll use the next 10 to 15 minutes to answer any questions. Feel free to drop them in the chat box now. And I'm going to go head over and look at them. And then Sabrina, Taylor, and Kara, if you want to jump back on, because I think there's some questions. So one of them was a statement, I was told the deadline for REV applications has already passed. And is that correct, or has it been extended? So Sabrina, do you want to take that one?
It did pass on December 14th, but they extended it, which is great. They extended it to December 31st of 2021. This is a great program. 2 simple questions they'll ask. You only have to answer yes to one, and you could be eligible to receive this scholarship. It is a voucher. It can only be used for tuition and fees. For part-time enrollment, you can get up to $1,500 towards your classes or certification, to degree program or certificate, and up to $3,000 for, say, a full-time enrollment. For example, if you complete your FAFSA and you were awarded, say, a Pell Grant of the $3,173, and you get approved for the REV grant, that $3,173 comes to you in the form of a refund. So it really helps your family with finances during this difficult time. So I would encourage everyone who fill out that REV voucher certification form, and I think I put the address you go to online. Fill that out. If you qualify, that's great. We can award you. If not, we have a lot of other programs that you could be eligible.
Awesome. And speaking of that, the Community First grant has been extended to the 21st of January. So as long as you enroll into classes at least 6 or more in one of our 5 in-demand career fields, you could either receive $250 scholarship or a $500 scholarship. So there are some other questions. If you are a registered student and need aid for summer term, how will that work out?
Okay, so that's really easy. One FAFSA is 1 semester. So it's for fall, spring, and summer. We never talk about summer, but it's for 3 semesters. So for example, let's talk about federal direct student loans. Say, for example, you qualify for only federal direct student loans and you got $5,500. Say the first semester you used $2,500 and you didn't use anything for that spring semester, you would have that remaining funds for summer. So if you are interested in using financial aid for summer, we have a summer request form, and you just fill that out and we'll let you know what type of aid that you can receive. Say, for example, you use all your grant funds for, for your fall and spring semester, and you don't have any loan money, you don't have anything, please don't hesitate to let us know. Our presidents of our school really has a desire for everyone to go to school, to have a means to go to school. So we have some institutional scholarships that are available to you, but if you don't let us know, we won't know that you need it. So please, if you're interested in school, you don't have any resources, let us know. If we can help, we will help.
Awesome. And then another question, can students apply consecutively for emergency funds? So this might be a Taylor question.
That's a good question. So I hate to say things are done on a case-by-case basis, because I know it'd be nicer to have a hard and fast answer, but I am going to say it's a case-by-case basis. If you've applied for emergency funds 1 semester and then the the following semester you have another emergency, please go ahead and reapply. Someone will probably reach out to you so we can kind of have a conversation, mostly to be sure that if there's something ongoing happening in your life that's making stuff really hard financially, that we talk about some resources that are not just one time like emergency funds, but that you're able to receive month by month, because we don't want you feeling like you're stuck in a crisis every single month. We have a couple of different types of emergency funds. A lot of people know about the CARES Act funds that are available right now. So depending on your situation, go ahead and reach out to Germanna Cares at Germanna.edu, or fill out the emergency fund request again and submit it. But just know that if you've received it in a semester in the past, we'll just want to follow up with you and make sure that you're accessing all of the resources that you need so that you get the most support possible.
Awesome, thank you. And another question, Sabrina, this might be one up to you. When is the Community Cares grant approved or dispersed? Do you have an idea when that will be? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I forgot. We'll be dispersing shortly. So anytime after the 21st, we'll disperse.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then another question, if you already received the technology grant in 2020, are there any emergency funds to apply for, and how?
So if you receive the technology funds, but you haven't applied for just general emergency funds, you can still apply for those. If you've received the technology funds and emergency funds and you're having an additional emergency, like I was saying before, go ahead and let's apply and we'll kind of talk through the situation. Occasionally something will happen where someone has gotten technology specific funds. Maybe they bought a new laptop and then their kid broke it, or like it fell and it just, there was a crisis, something really bad happened. And the technology funds are typically one time period. If there's an exceptional circumstance, if something happened that's like, who would have guessed this? It got dropped in a puddle of water or something like that. Go ahead and email Germanna Cares at Germanna.edu. We can talk and see if this would be a situation where you might be eligible to reapply.
Awesome, thank you. And then this is probably a question for me. So for those who are doing dual enrollment, do we do the application as well? Yes, if you are a dual enrollment or potentially a dual enrollment student. So dual enrollment is typically for juniors and seniors in high school. There are very few occasions where anyone under junior or senior has been accepted as a dual enrollment student, but typically you have to be a junior or senior, and you would apply. You would need to meet with your high school counselor first, get approval that you are ready to take college level classes, and then you'll meet with a Germanna counselor to help you register for those classes. Each semester that you're still in high school and you wish to take a college course with us, you'll have to go through this process. With the exception of the application, you only need to do that once. And then another question. So the question is, I started a degree program some time ago. Can the REV funds be used to complete the degree? Sabrina?
No problem. Well, the REV program was not set up to complete the degree. It's only for one semester. So if you chose a program of study back in 2018 that is under our program of studies that's covered under REV, and you haven't changed it, you can get awarded with the REV, but REV is for one semester only.
Awesome. And then another question. Oops, kind of losing my place a little bit. I've started a degree with REV. Will there be other emergency aid to help me finish the degree after this semester? That's a really good question.
I can't say for sure if there, but I know if the state doesn't step in, we have a wonderful leadership that meets the needs of our students. So if the state of Virginia does not come through, I have no doubt that Germanna leadership will come through for the students. Remember, when you become a student of Germanna, you're not only a student, you're family. So we don't let anything happen to our family. So I can't say 100% sure about the REV program and other programs like that. But if you have a need, you have to let us know. So if you need any kind of assistance at all, paying for school, let us know. And if we can help, we will help.
Great, thank you. And then another kind of a statement. I'm not familiar with Germanna Cares funds, but is there any specific funding those currently unemployed but trying to finish a degree? So if someone could just talk about what is Germanna Cares funds and what does it do for students?
Okay, so just to make things confusing, Germanna has a care team, and our care team has a lot of different resources for folks who are having a hard time making ends meet. In addition to that, the federal government passed the CARES Act, which was a response to the coronavirus. So sometimes when you hear somebody talking about CARES funds, we're talking about specific emergency money and technology fund money that's coming from the CARES Act. And it so happens that a lot of times you're accessing those by talking to someone in Germanna Cares programs. So I know it sounds very similar. It kind of is. If you are having a hard time with things outside of school, whether that's paying for rent, paying for transportation, figuring out how you're going to get groceries, figuring out how you're going to pay your bills, CARES emergency funds money, which is in the form of grants, might be something that can help you once you're enrolled. But I also think that this question is probably tied to what Sabrina was talking about with REV funding. If somebody's unemployed, they may be eligible for that REV funding. The REV funding goes toward your tuition. The CARES emergency grants go toward your cost of living, cost of attendance, all of the stuff that isn't paying for college. Does that make sense?
I think it does. And to follow up with dual enrollment, if you are a freshman or a sophomore in high school currently, I suggest towards the end of your sophomore year, before you start choosing your junior year courses, have a conversation with your high school counselor saying, hey, I'm interested in taking dual enrollment classes. So you can have that conversation while you're signing up for your next year of high school courses. So we can do that all at once. So towards the end of your sophomore year, that's when you should be having those conversations.
I'd like to jump in there as well, Carleigh. I did see that chat message or question about not being a junior or senior. I did send out an email to my students. The exceptional students are considered on a case-by-case basis. It would have to go through our dean, which was explained in the email. I don't know if the student goes to Spotsy or not, but you can be considered if you are not a junior by case-by-case scenario. So if you are considered exceptional and you have what we're looking for, and you can show that you will benefit from college courses, and you've done the interview with Dean Frederick, then Dr. Gullickson, who is the president of the college, can allow you to take college courses. So yes, you can do it outside of junior, senior year, but it's done on a case-by-case basis.
Awesome, thank you. And then we have one other question. What about Community First Scholarship? When do we hear if we've been approved for it? So Serena, do we know when we're dispersing that?
I think since they extended it, we're looking at after the 21st.
Awesome. So if you've been awarded it, it should be hitting your accounts shortly after the 21st of January. That looks like it's the last question as of right now. We'll hang around for a couple more minutes if there's any last minute questions. If you don't have any others, feel free to jump off for the evening. I'll be following up via email if you have any additional questions about Germanna. But thank you so much for spending your evening with us. We hope you enjoyed your time, and we wish you the very best. Oh, yay, we got another question. So how is the bookstore operating?
I can help.
There we go. Thank
you. Today until February 15th, you can use your financial aid funds, your overage, towards your bookstore expenses. So say, for example, you got a Pell Grant for $3,000, your tuition and fees are $2,000. We'll pay your $2,000 with your Pell Grant, and then you have the extra money to use in the bookstore. So only thing you have to do, I think there's a Follett bookstore tile. When you log on to my GCC, just click on that tile, and you can order your books that way.
And they can do curbside pickup, or they can mail your textbooks and other supplies to your home.
Exactly.
Very socially distanced.
Yes,
I
yes.
was going to say Germanna Cares. That's how far we go.
Yes. And then another question came through. Does financial aid cover technology needs? Excuse me.
Well, say if there's a technology need that is a laptop and you would like to use those funds towards a laptop and any other kind of technology needs they have in our bookstore, you could, of course, use those funds towards that. If you say say you need a laptop, you don't have any more financial aid, and you think you're in an eligible group that can receive a free laptop or a loaner laptop, you can do that as well. So if we have it in our bookstore, yes, you can use your financial aid towards that. I hope I answered that question correct or good enough.
I think so. So another one came through. I'm trying to apply for Rev, but it's telling me I don't have permission. Who do I contact?
You can contact our admissions department. This is probably because something about your email. Either your email isn't set up or you're not actually enrolled in school. So our admissions department can help with that. So Carleigh put an email there.
Yep. So it's just admissions@Germanna.edu. If you remember your student ID, put that in your subject line. It'll be a lot easier to find your student account if you do have that information. If not, no worries. We can look you up by first and last name. All right. Are there any other questions, or did we get through everyone this evening? Oh, I think we do have another question. Just taking some time to type it, and that's all right. So Sabrina, could you explain the Community First Scholarship one more time?
Community First is a federal scholarship. It's an income-based. Is it an income-based scholarship? And the answer is no. It'll pay for educational expenses and money that's sent directly to the students. FAFSA, you can submit a FAFSA, and the link is on our website. So if you're affected, yeah. So it's real. I think everyone should do the Community First. You have to be from one of the areas. I think it's Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg, Stafford, King George. There's some other counties that I missed. Well, look on our website. It has all the information, detailed information about the Community First. It's very minimal eligibility requirements for this, so I encourage everyone to apply if you meet the minimal requirements.
Awesome. And William just dropped the link in there. So you have to live in one of our localities, be registered for classes by at least the 21st of January, and be in one of our in-demand career fields, which would be automotive, business, cybersecurity and IT, education, and healthcare. So as long as you're registered for at least 6 credit hours, you're in one of those programs, you're registered, and you do complete a FAFSA, you might receive anywhere from $250 to $500 for the spring tuition. I saw another question. How do we get a list of what books are needed for class? So typically, it depends on when your professor uploads or makes their classroom go live. Usually some professors will do it a week before, some do it the day class does start. But in there is your syllabus. They will let you know, hey, you need this book or these books. You will purchase them. You can do it through the bookstore. You can rent them. You can download electronic versions. And then those are how you'll find out what books you need for each class. So you'll need to go into each class's syllabus to find out which book you need for that semester.
Yeah, and to add to that, Carleigh, if you want to get a head start and your professor hasn't put their syllabus on Canvas yet, you can actually go to Germanna's bookstore website. You can find it on Germanna.edu, find the bookstore, click on there, and click on the textbook icon. It'll ask you what courses you're in, and when you add those, it'll actually show you your book list on the website so that you can add them to your cart and pay using either your financial aid or another method of payment. So if you're just like, you can't wait to get those textbooks, and that was always me at the start of the semester, like, I can't wait to get my books, you can do that as well.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think a couple more questions came in. If you still have to get books and only have Rev funds, what other ways can I get help to pay for my books?
Unfortunately, you'll have to pay out of pocket, but we do have a scholarship program if you're eligible, but it is need-based eligibility. So what you can do is you can email me directly. My email is sballard@Germanna.edu, and I'll put it in the chat. And you can email me and I can see if you qualify for a book scholarship.
Thank you. Awesome. And then we had another question come in. How do you find the URL for the Rev application? It's just Germanna.edu/REV, which is in there. Also, if you ever are looking for something, I highly suggest going to Germanna.edu. Our page is pretty user-friendly, and if you do have any questions, in the lower right hand there usually is an icon to either chat with a person live or to send an email, and we will follow up with you as soon as possible. And one last question for this evening: how much is that scholarship? Am I looking to getting aid for the summer? Which scholarship are you referring to? The Community First?
So are you talking about financial aid? Financial aid, if you fill out one FAFSA, like I was saying, one FAFSA is for fall, spring, and summer semester. So that one FAFSA can qualify you for grant aid. That's money you don't have to pay back. You'll get your EFC number that gives you your expected family contribution number, and some scholarships may require that. It also allows you to get the federal direct student loans as well. So are you talking about that? Let's see. Yeah, that's what funds have been used up. Yes, what you can do if you use all your financial aid, you can contact me. Again, my name is Sabrina, so it's sballard@Germanna.edu, and we can see if you can apply for the GGP scholarship. That's an institutional scholarship, to see if you can get awarded with that scholarship to help you for classes.
Awesome. Well, that is it for this evening. Thank you guys so much. If you do have additional questions, feel free to reach out to us, either at Sabrina's email, the recruiting email, admissions. We will get back to you as soon as possible, but it's been a pleasure chatting with you guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.